Hello students, welcome back to your online video classes. In the previous class, we have discussed the excretory system, a system which is used for the removal of waste products, in which kidney is the main excretory organ which excretes urea in the form of urine out of the body. We have studied the structural and functional unit of kidney, that is the nephron. It is made up of two parts. First one was the Bowman's capsule and second one was the tubular part of nephron. Then we studied the mechanism of urine. That is, first one was the filtration, second one was reabsorption and third one was secretion. Then we studied about the various organs: urinary bladder, ureter, urethra and kidney. Then we discussed the disorders related to the excretory system, that is glomerulonephritis, renal calculi, etc. And now today we will start our topic reproductive system. The term reproductive means reproducing the young ones similar to itself. It is a biological process in which enables the continuity of species generation after generation. So reproduction is mainly of two types. First one, asexual. The asexual reproduction involves only a single organism in the process, and by this reproduction the offsprings produced are identical to their parents and to their siblings, that is, they are exact copies of their parent. So in asexual reproduction no variation are present, but in humans and all other higher organisms sexual reproduction is present, that is involving two organisms for the production of gametes, male for the sperms and female for the egg. So in sexual reproduction the siblings are not exact copies of each other and they are not exact similar to their parents. So in sexual reproduction variations are present. So today we will discuss the human reproductive system in detail. First of all, the different phases of life, that is, first one is juvenile phase. It is the stage in which an organism attains maturity, that is, it is the growth phase of an organism. After that the organism becomes reproductively active. Then comes the stage puberty. Puberty in females comes at the age of 12 to 14 year and in males at the age of 13 to 15 year. In puberty, there are various morphological, physiological, intellectual changes in the person's body. We will discuss it in detail. And then comes the reproductive phase. In the reproductive phase, the person is matured reproductively. They can have an active reproductive behavior. So, first of all, in puberty, there are many morphological changes in boys and girls. First of all, we will discuss the changes coming in the boys. So, the features which develop in males are heaviness in the voice, that is low pitch sound. Then comes the development of moustache and beards, growth of pubic hairs near the genital organs and underarms, and there is also oiliness on the skin and appearance of pimples on the face. So the next, in females, the features which appear is development of breast, that is the deposition of fatty tissues and the production of female contours. Then comes the oiliness of skin and appearance of pimples. There is also one major change in the female body, that is the menstrual cycle. It is a periodic cycle in which a layer of uterus, which is endometrium made up of blood, mucus and dead tissues, forms periodically and disposed out of the body in a regular interval. These were the changes which comes in the age of puberty. Now you will think, what happens at the age of puberty so that so many morphological, physiological changes occurs in the body? The main role is of hormones. The male hormone is testosterone, which is secreted from the testis, that is the primary reproductive organ of males. And in females, estrogen and progesterone, these hormones are secreted from the ovaries, and these led to the changes. Then Finally, a person at the age of 18 to 19 years becomes reproductively mature, that is, they can have an active reproductive behavior. Along with these morphological and physiological changes, there are some mental level changes, intellectual changes in the body. So, the person started to develop his own thinking on various issues. So, first of all, we will consider the male reproductive system in detail. So, the reproductive system is divided into two parts. First of all, primary reproductive organs. Second one, the secondary reproductive organs. The primary reproductive organs of males is testis, in which sperms are produced and the main hormone of males, that is the testosterone, is secreted. Then all these others are included in the secondary sexual organs, which helps in the maturation of sperms, in the movement of sperms and delivering it to the female body. So, testis is the main organ which produces the male germ cell, that is the sperm, and secretes testosterone. It is situated outside the abdominal cavity in the scrotum. Scrotum is a bag-like structure which is present in the pubic region outside the abdominal cavity. The reason behind this is the requirement of 2 to 2.5 degrees Celsius less temperature for the production of sperms. The process of sperm production is known as spermatogenesis. It requires 2 to 2.5 degrees Celsius lesser body temperature than the body. So, in scrotum, testis is present outside the abdominal cavity. Then, the third organ is vas deferens. It is a tube-like structure which connects testis to the abdominal cavity. Sperm flows from testis to the abdominal cavity in this tube, that is vas deferens. Then, it combines with the secretion of seminal vesicle, which is a gland present in the male body. Then, it becomes another duct, that is ejaculatory duct. After that, in seminal vesicles, there are many secretions which makes a part of semen. Semen is a sticky part in which sperms are present. Along with seminal vesicles, one another gland, that is prostate gland, which is present below the urinary bladder, also helps to form a part of semen. Along with the production of semen, there is one more role of seminal vesicles and prostate gland, that it helps in the movement of sperm, that is the swimming movement of sperms. The last one gland, that is the Cowper's gland, which is present in the lateral side of urethra. It is also known as bulbourethral gland because its structure is just like a small spot, that is bulb-like. It helps in the lubrication of penis during the copulation. Along with the lubrication of penis, it also helps in removing the acidity of urethra caused due to the urine and cleans the path of urethra for the semen. Urethra. Urethra, I have told you, it is a passage of urine and sperms both. Urethra continues in a cylindrical organ, that is penis. It is the male copulatory organ. In normal condition, this penis is used for urination. But during the sexual intercourse, that is the copulation, this penis is used for delivering the semen to the female's vaginal canal. At that time of sexual intercourse or sexual excitement, this penis gets erect, and this erection and ejaculation, that is releasing the sperm outside the body, both is regulated by the nervous system. So, that was all about the male reproductive system. We started from the testis and finally sperms reaches to the cylindrical organ penis and released outside the body. Then comes the female reproductive system, in which this reproductive system, that is female reproductive system, is also divided into two parts. First of all, the primary reproductive organ, which helps in the production of female germ cells. Female germ cells is ovum, that is egg. It is produced in the ovaries. Ovaries are one pair, just like testes. Testes are also one pair in the male, and ovaries are also one pair in the females which produces egg. So ovaries are the primary reproductive organ of females, but the fallopian tube, uterus, cervix and vagina are the female secondary sexual organs. There is a misnomer that breast, that is mammary glands, are also secondary sexual organ of females, but breast is the secondary sexual character. These are not the organs of female body. Then comes fallopian tube. It is the secondary sexual organ which connects ovaries to the uterus. These are also one pair in which fertilization, that is the fusion of sperms and ovum takes place, that is formation of zygote takes place in fallopian tube. Then comes a sac-like hollow muscular organ, that is uterus, which is also known as womb. The upper part of uterus is also known as fundus, at which the developing embryo attaches. This is known as implantation. So uterus is a muscular organ in which the embryo gets his whole development of 9 months. Then comes the cervix. It is the part of uterus which is narrower than the uterus, and then comes the last external genitalia of females, that is the vagina. Vagina is a 8 to 10 centimeter long canal which is muscular and fibrous tissue, and together with cervix, that is cervical canal along with the vaginal canal together forms the birth canal. So this was all about the female reproductive system. So now we will discuss the whole process of reproduction one by one and some basic points about these organs in detail. First of all, in the phases of reproduction, the process which comes is the gametogenesis. Gametogenesis is the production of gametes, that is production of sperms in testis and production of eggs in the female body in the ovaries of female, which is known as oogenesis. So production of sperms is known as spermatogenesis and production of eggs is known as oogenesis. Then comes the process of fertilization. Fertilization is the fusion of male gametes, that is sperms and egg, and the formation of zygote. But every population could not lead to the fertilization because there should be a synchronization in the gamete release. The egg release, that is known as ovulation, should be at the time of entry of sperm in the female body. If it occurs in synchronization, then it leads to the pregnancy, that is formation of zygote, which further develops into embryo and fetus. So we will study now the development of embryo. There is a division, special division present in zygote, which is cleavage. Cleavage is a special division which is present in the zygote. These are the free mitotic divisions in the zygote which leads to the formation of morula. Morula is a 8-celled structure of embryo. Then it further divides and forms blastula. Blastula is the stage of embryo development which gets embedded in the fundus region of uterus, that is the upper wide portion of uterus. So uterus is present above the urinary bladder and just behind the urinary bladder. So the blastula gets attached to the female's body at the place of uterus. Here comes one more term, that is placenta. So now we will discuss the whole 9-month development of the embryo. So first of all, we will start with the first month. In the first month, when in the uterus embryo is implanted, heart is formed. So you can detect the heartbeats of the embryo with the help of stethoscope. that is the first sign of the fetus growth. Then in the second month, fetus develops limbs and digits. In the third month, major organ system is formed. The movement of fetus and appearance of hairs on head are present at the end of fifth month, and at the end of sixth month, body is covered with fine hairs, eyelids separate and eyelashes are formed. After 9 months of pregnancy, fetus is fully developed and ready for delivery. This delivery is also known as accouchement. This delivery is also known as accouchement, that is the expulsion of fetus from the mother's body, in which it is a painful process in which the pain is known as labor pain. The delivery of baby is a neuroendocrine mechanism in which many hormones are involved along with neural signals. The signal first comes from the fetus itself, and through the placenta it passes to the mother, and then there is a secretion of a hormone known as oxytocin hormone, which is actually a paternal hormone present in both male and female, which gives them the feeling of parenthood. So, oxytocin is the hormone for parenthood. Then, when semen reaches in the vagina, there are presence of some bacteria known as lactobacillus bacteria, which produces lactic acid. This provides the vaginal opening an acidic medium in which sperm flows, and sperm activates in the vagina to reach through the uterus. Here sperm needs a large amount of energy. So, for the production of energy, sperms have a structure that is mitochondria in its body. In the middle piece of the sperm, mitochondria is present, which is surrounded by a sheet-like structure. So, this provides the energy to the sperm for the swimming movement in the female's body. These bacteria do not harm the female body, but produces carbonic acid and lactic acid at that region. So, today we have discussed the whole reproductive system, and now we will discuss the nervous system in detail. Now, the major coordination system of body, that is nervous system and endocrine system. Nervous system comprises of many nerves, brain and spinal cord, which helps in detection of external stimuli given by the environment. Then they transmits the message to the brain, which reacts on this, and then motor nerves carry the signals from the body. But there is one problem in nervous system, that it cannot control the whole cells of the body. So, for this specialization, another system for coordination is present, that is endocrine system, which secretes hormones for all the cells of the body. They can control the all cells by the hormones. So, today we will discuss nervous system, the classification of nervous system. First of all, the whole nervous system is divided into two major parts. First part, CNS, that is central nervous system, in which the central processing of information takes place, that is brain, which is the main organ for processing and controlling the whole body. Then the spinal cord, in which the nerves of brain passes out and spread to the whole body, and the nerves of brain and spinal cord. The nerves of brain are known as cranial nerves, and the nerves of spinal cord are known as spinal nerves. Then the second part is PNS. PNS is peripheral nervous system, in which two types of nerves are present. First of all, sensory nerves, which are distributed all over the body and senses the external stimuli. Then comes the motor nerves, which To note motor nerves, brain sends signals to act according to the external stimuli. So both these nerves are for sensing and for reacting according to that. This was the PNS which is distributed all over the body, but CNS is mainly present in the brain and spinal cord. Then there is further one more classification of PNS, that is peripheral nervous system, into two parts. First one is the somatic. Somatic means it is related to the skeletal muscles. Skeletal muscles are the muscles to which we have voluntary control. So, somatic neural system controls the organs which are voluntary. We can control over hand movements, leg movements. So, these voluntary movements are controlled by the somatic neural system. Then, second one is autonomous neural system, which is also the part of PNS, and it regulates the involuntary organs. Involuntary organs just like lungs. Now, I am not controlling my lungs in my own will. They are controlled by itself. So autonomous neural system controls these smooth muscles of involuntary organs. This was all about the classification of nervous system, and in the next class we will discuss the brain in detail, that is the central information processing organ. And in today's class we have mainly discussed the reproductive system and an introductory part of classification of nervous system. In reproductive system, we have studied the importance of reproduction and the male reproductive system and female reproductive system and various organs which are involved in it for the passage of the male gamete, that is sperms, and the female gamete, that is ovums. And in the next class we will discuss brain. Thank you.